timers. According to the Forbes magazine, the last time the federal minimum wage was raised, 600,000 teens lost their jobs. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the effects that raising the minimum wage would have. Over the past 2 weeks, I've done extensive research and read many articles about this subject. This topic has been heavily debated both in the past and I know it will be in the future, but it is important for us to know the negative effects that raising the federal minimum wage would cause. If the federal minimum wage were raised, it would hurt many businesses, it would hurt the poor, and it would greatly affect the unemployment rate. First of all, it would have great effects on businesses. According to Entrepreneur, if the federal minimum wage were raised, there would be increased cost of labor, which means that the businesses would need to increase prices to keep up their profit. But with competition, it's hard for businesses to raise their prices very much. So the company might have to cut costs in other areas, such as in the quality of their product. Raising the federal minimum wage would not only affect businesses, but it would also affect the poor, who it claims to help. According to the Forbes magazine, more than 60% of the poor don't work, so they would not be helped by an increased federal minimum wage. There would also be less opportunity for personal advancement, since businesses would not be able to hire as many people. Many people get a minimum wage job as a stepping stone, where then they can get a higher paying job. But businesses will have to be more selective about who they hire, since the people that they hire will have to be working for the higher wage that they get. The biggest effect of increasing the federal minimum wage would be the increased unemployment rate. The law of demand states that as the price of something increases, the demand for it decreases. So, as an example, say there's a new phone you really want to buy. Say that Apple or whichever company priced this phone at $100. How many people would be buying that cell phone? Thousands of people would buy that cell phone. The quantity demanded would be very great because the price was low. Now say that same cell phone was priced at $5,000. How many people would be buying that phone? Not very many. Because the price is high, the quantity demanded would decrease. The same thing happens in regards to labor. As we said before, businesses would have to cut their costs somewhere. That might mean having to let go of some of their lesser skilled workers. According to the Forbes, for every 15% increase in the federal minimum wage, there's approximately a 1 to 2% increase in the unemployment rate. According to the Cato Institute, a study by the Employment Policy Institute estimated that if the federal minimum wage were raised to $9.50, approximately 1.3 million jobs would be lost. As you can see, there are a lot of negative effects to increasing the federal minimum wage. If it were raised, many businesses, the poor, and the unemployment rate would be affected. Many businesses would struggle financially to try to pay their workers the higher prices. Many of the poor would have a harder time finding a job since businesses would want to hire more skilled people. And the unemployment rate would increase because a lot of small businesses wouldn't be able to support as many workers as they had previously. As you can see, increasing the federal minimum wage would have many negative effects on businesses, on the poor, and many jobs would be lost. But what can we do? We can be careful who we put in legislative positions. But as a singular person, there's not a ton of control we have over that. But there is something that every single one of us in here can do. We can write to our legislators. We can tell them our opinions. They do read our letters, and lots of times they'll answer you back. You might not know this, but a lot of legislators are even willing to change their vote on a key issue for maybe just 20, 30, or 40 letters of the people that they represent stating their opinion. So do what you can. Be heard. Make it known that the federal minimum wage should not be increased. Thank you.